Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about something that might be happening in your relationship right now, and you don't even realize it. Have you ever caught yourself wondering, is this behavior normal, or is it crossing a line? Maybe your partner hasn't done anything extreme. No affairs, no big lies. But you still feel something's not quite right. A discomfort, a subtle shift, a pattern of behavior that leaves you uneasy. If that sounds familiar, you might be dealing with what we call micro-cheating, a series of small betrayals that slowly chip away at trust and connection, even when nothing technically wrong has happened. So let's get real. Micro-cheating isn't the big dramatic act that movies show us. It's the tiny, almost invisible actions that start to create distance in a relationship. It's the guarded phone, the passwords that are suddenly top secret, the flirty comments on someone's Instagram, the quiet texts with an ex. It's subtle, it's sneaky, and sometimes even the person doing it doesn't realize they're crossing a boundary until the damage is already done. Imagine this. You ask your partner for their phone because your battery died, or you need directions while they're driving. And suddenly, there's tension. They hesitate. They find an excuse. They hold on to that phone like it's a bomb about to go off. Sound familiar? That intense need to protect their phone at all costs is more than just privacy. It's usually a sign that there's something they don't want you to see. And when that happens often, not just once, it's time to start asking questions. Because yes, everyone has the right to privacy, but when someone is actively hiding something, when they guard their phone like a treasure chest, when they refuse to even let you touch it for a second, that's not privacy, that's secrecy. And secrecy has no place in a healthy, trusting relationship. And then there are the passwords. Naturally, in long-term relationships, people often end up sharing them. Not because they snoop, but because life happens. You need to check something on a laptop, send a message, or get into an account. But if your partner is adamant that you never, ever have access to their phone or computer, not even in an emergency, that's a pretty loud message. Maybe they're hiding conversations, or pictures, or emotional connections that they know would hurt you if you saw them. And that's the key. If you saw them, you'd feel hurt. That's where the line gets drawn. Let's move to the world of social media. If your partner is constantly leaving heart emojis, flirty comments, or exaggerated compliments on someone else's posts, especially someone of the opposite sex, that's a digital red flag. It's not about liking someone's vacation photo. It's about repetitive, intentional actions that show unusual attention or attraction. And if they're doing that publicly, just imagine what's happening in private DMs. Now here's another pattern you might notice. The energy between you shifts. The excitement that used to be there, the physical chemistry, the emotional closeness, it starts to fade. Suddenly, they're not as affectionate, not as interested in spending time together, not as emotionally present. Yes, life gets busy. Stress, work, hormones, these things affect everyone. But when that distance is paired with secretive behavior, emotional detachment, and unusual attention to others, it paints a very different picture. And it's not just what they do, it's what they say. Some people constantly bring up how attractive someone else is. Maybe it's a coworker, a celebrity, a friend. One or two compliments are harmless. But when your partner starts pouring their admiration toward others while barely acknowledging you, it starts to sting. It sends the message that their attention, and maybe even their desire, is wandering elsewhere. So what do you do if you recognize these signs? Do you panic? Confront? Assume the worst? No. The first thing you do is take a breath. And then you talk. Have a real, honest conversation with your partner, not with accusations, but with clarity. Talk about boundaries. Talk about emotional needs. Talk about what you consider respectful behavior in a relationship. Because here's the thing, not everyone shares the same definition of cheating. Maybe you're okay with your partner texting their ex now and then because they're just friends. Or maybe, for you, that's an absolute no-go. Some people are fine with friendly DMs. Others see it as a betrayal. What matters is the agreement you and your partner have made. If either of you steps outside those agreed boundaries, without discussing or adjusting them first, that's where micro-cheating begins. And here's the golden rule. If you feel like you need to hide something from your partner, whether it's a message, a lunch, a conversation, because you know it would hurt them if they found out, then it's probably something that shouldn't be happening. True honesty isn't about not getting caught. It's about choosing transparency even when you don't have to. Relationships survive not because we're perfect, but because we're honest. And that honesty includes being upfront about our connections, our intentions, and our respect for each other's emotional boundaries. Micro-cheating might not break a relationship overnight, but it builds cracks, tiny ones that deepen over time. And before you know it, you're miles apart. So protect your relationship, talk, listen, set boundaries, and if something feels wrong, don't bury it. Bring it to the surface, heal it, because sometimes the little things we ignore are the very things that matter most. If this resonated with you and you want more conversations like this, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us keep these important topics going. Stay kind, stay aware, and take care of your heart, because it's the most valuable thing you've got.